Hello watch lovers! Now, Tudor watches offer a great alternative proposition to the pre-eminent Rolex. With a shared history and founder, Tudor was started by Hans Wilsdorf as a more affordable alternative to Rolex. And so it remains to this day, with Tudor boasting enticing options over many of Rolex's most famous models. And in this video, we'll be going through the best Rolex watches and their Tudor equivalents. We've got racing chronographs, divers, GMTs, the lot, all with the same high-spec performance and high-end style, but for much less strain on your purse strings. So let's get into it. Starting with the Rolex Submariner, the quintessential dive watch. As one of the OG tool watches, the Submariner has been keeping people on time while underwater since the 50s. Watches like the Rolex Submariner laid the foundation for the dive watch aesthetic, and it's thusly recognisable and iconic. Well, Tudor has its own iconic dive watch, the Black Bay, a model inspired from Tudor's early dive watches, also from the 50s. It shares all of those hallmarks of a classic diver's watch. You get a finely notched bezel in black, a high contrast dial with chunky silver and white hands and markers, which is subtly radial brushed for a low-key shimmer, and with a domed sapphire crystal. And this watch is also packing some serious specs with the manufacturer caliber MT-5602U, which is METAS Master Chronometer certified. And we may as well go over what that means, because like the hallmark Tudor snowflake hands, we'll be seeing it again. So to gain METAS certification, a watch must pass rigorous tests for precision, resistance to magnetism, waterproofness and power reserve, while simultaneously receive certification from the official Swiss Chronometer Testing Institute, or COSC, which tests the movement for precision at 2 temperatures in 6 different positions and at 2 different levels of power reserve, 100% and 33%. So yeah, double certification. Now this model is 41mm in a steel case, it boasts 200 meters of water resistance and brags a 70-hour power reserve, and it's a stone cold classic. A modern Rolex Submariner will cost you upwards of around £9,000 pre-owned, but you can pick up a Black Bay pre-owned for around £4,000. But if you see those watches as just being for desk dwellers and you actually take your diving seriously and need more performance, then Rolex offers the Sea Dweller. With increased water resistance and a helium escape valve, this is a watch specifically designed for saturation diving. That's the kind of diving where you get completely soaked, even your shoes. So for a more serious diver's watch from Tudor, they have the Pelagos, which is waterproof to 500 meters and comes in a 42mm titanium and steel case with a brushed finish, and it also features a helium escape valve at 9 o'clock, which helps prevent the watch crystal from popping off when resurfacing. It has a high contrast ceramic bezel and a stepped dial with a subtly grainy texture, and instead of rounded markers you get square ones instead, because this is serious stuff, remember? And inside is the automatic manufacturer COSC caliber MT-5612. The Pelagos is a hardy tool watch for diving professionals, and pre-owned it will cost you around £3,000. Meanwhile, pre-owned a Sea Dweller will set you back around £10,000. But if serious isn't serious enough for you and you want to get extreme, then Rolex brings you the Deepsea. With just under 4,000 meters of water resistance, a gas escape valve and increased pressure resistance thanks to the patented ring lock system, this here is your big boy, and James Cameron swears by it. Now, Tudor didn't have anything to compete with that, really, until this year, that is, when they released the Pelagos Ultra, with an admirable 1,000 meters of water resistance, which is deep enough to see anglerfish and vampire squid, so you know, you're welcome to that. And it also comes in titanium with thicker hands and bigger lugs and loads of lume for increased legibility, and more of that METAS goodness from the manufacturer caliber MT-5612U. But if all that's got you struggling to make up your mind between a Rolex or a Tudor diver's watch, then what about this Tudor Submariner Prince Oyster Date. It's a Tudor dive watch with a classic 70s style aesthetic, but with a bit of Rolex thrown in, quite literally thanks to a branded crown case and clasp, which harks back to when Tudor would often borrow parts from Rolex, a reminder of the two brands' shared history. Now, as equally iconic as the Submariner is the Rolex GMT-Master II. With its juicy duotone bezel and signature arrow-tipped GMT hand, it's great for telling time in 2 different time zones and was the original favourite of Pan Am pilots in the 50s and 60s. So when it comes to GMT options from Tudor, there's 2 models spring to mind, and it's a question of Pepsi or Coke. There's the Black Bay GMT with the shimmery opaline dial and anodized aluminium bezel in red and blue. With a 41mm steel case on a rivet steel bracelet, it's an iconic look that will make your wrist come alive and is the choice of a generation. Alternatively, there's the newish Black Bay 58, coming in a slimmer, more compact case that's 39mm across, as is the style of the 58 model, and with a lustrous look of burgundy and black with warm gilt details across the dial and bezel. It's that classic Coke look that's been sorely missing from the big Rolex house of nice watches for far too long. So you can pick up a Tudor GMT watch pre-owned for between £3,000 and £4,000, whereas a modern Rolex GMT is upwards of £12,000 pre-owned. Next, if you can hear the tundra calling you, as it so often does, then you need a watch that's ready for any expedition. So the Rolex Explorer, the watch that was definitely somewhere in the general vicinity of the first historic ascent of Everest, is a serious contender for a cool, understated Rolex that's perfect for any situation, but comes with the rugged performance of a field watch. Meanwhile, Tudor's own Explorer watches have been the go-to choice for adventurers for over 70 years, going back to the British North Greenland expedition in the early 50s. And drawing on that history, we have the Ranger. This is a practical instrument watch with a clear and precise dial, and in a 39mm steel case, it comes with a high-performance COSC certified manufacture caliber. The MT5402 with its sturdy variable inertia balance with non-magnetic silicon balance spring. It's waterproof to 100 meters and weekend proof too, with 70 hours of power reserve. Rolex Explorers start at around £5,000 pre-owned, but you can pick up a Ranger for around £2,500 pre-owned. And then we have the Rolex Explorer 2, which is just like the Explorer but more. One more, I guess. With a 24-hour display bezel and a vibrant orange GMT hand, it's another instantly recognisable no-frills Rolex. To rival the Explorer 2, we have the Tudor Black Bay Pro. It duplicates the fixed steel bezel with a 24-hour display and satin brush finish, but it comes in a comfortable 39mm case, with a crisp white opaline dial featuring a GMT hand in a shocking yellow. There's also ceramic markers outlined in black for maximum legibility, and of course there's a manufacture caliber, the MT5652. The Pro is perfect for exploration in all areas, from the frozen tundra to the frozen yogurt stand and back again. And you can pick one up pre-owned for around £3,000, while modern Explorer 2s cost around £8,000 pre-owned. Then we have the much lauded Rolex Daytona. The famous racing chronograph from the 60s was, upon its release, rather unloved. These days, however, its popularity has swung back the other way, a bit too far if you ask me, and the Rolex Daytona is one of the most sought after watches on the market. With its classic panda-style dial and tachymeter scale bezel, it has paved the way for how racing chronographs look across the board. And here we have the Tudor Black Bay Chrono, packing many of those favourite racing chronograph features like a twin subdial register display, fixed stainless steel bezel in matte black, and familiar screw-down pushers. In a 41mm steel case with the manufacturer chronograph caliber MT5813 inside, and it's waterproof to 200 meters. You can pick up a Panda-style Black Bay Chrono pre-owned for around £4,000, and that is a good deal less than a Daytona, for sure. Oh, and by the way, if you like this watch, then we've got 2 of them to give away. Yes, we're currently running a giveaway with 2 Tudor Black Bay Chronos up for grabs, one for those in the US and another for those in the UK. For more information and to enter the giveaway, see the description below. So, Rolex likes to keep one watch around in its catalogue that leans more towards elegance than adventurous exploits. Rolex's 1908 is a classical timepiece with smooth numerals and a small second subdial, faceted 18-karat gold hour markers, and sword-shaped minute hand and Breguet-style hour hand. Now, for some of that traditional sophistication over at Tudor, we have the 1926. Incidentally, both names 1908 and 1926 refer to the dates that Hans Wilsdorf founded each brand, or registered the name or something. So, parallel important date name watch brothers. So, the 1926 features a simple round case with an embossed dial that's crisscrossed to perfection, and there's long, elegant sword hands and a mix of numerals and faceted arrow-shaped hour markers. It's simple, timeless and elegant, and as a big Brucey bonus, it's actually one of the more affordable watches Tudor makes. It also comes in either 28, 36, 39 or 41mm sizes to suit all wrists, and you can pick up the larger 41mm model pre-owned for around £1,200. Moving on to the everyday Rolex now. Quite literally, this is the universally wearable Rolex Day Date. Recognisable by that fluted bezel and curved display window at the top of the dial displaying the day of the week, it's versatile, practical and precious. It's just classic Rolex. And for something from Tudor that lands in the same ballpark of classical and sporty, we've got the Tudor Royal, with its own distinct style of notched bezel with alternating grooves and polished surfaces, and with a sleek case and integrated bracelet. This particular model features a black radial brushed dial for elegant shimmeriness and applied Roman numeral hour markers. Again, it's offered in 4 sizes with 13 possible dials, and you can find the Tudor Royal pre-owned for around £2,000. Finally, we have something from Tudor that Rolex doesn't offer. No, not abundant availability, I'm talking about a ceramic watch. So we've seen some titanium from Rolex with the Yachtmaster and the Deepsea Challenge, but do they do ceramic cases like this? This is the Black Bay Ceramic. It's a Black Bay with a 41mm matte black ceramic case with a monoblock middle and a micro-blasted finish. And to complete the full-blown stealth look, there's black PVD steel elements throughout, like the bezel, crown and caseback. On the reverse, there's a sapphire crystal displaying the Metas manufacture caliber MT56021U, and it's a model that showcases the brand's technical ability and excellence. And you can find this ceramic Black Bay pre-owned for around £4,000. So that about wraps up this roundup of the best Tudor alternatives to Rolex, and if you want to check out more amazing watches, then why not head over to watchfinder.com and find your next pre-owned luxury watch. Check it out and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.